during the times of slavery in United States history, we all know the story of slaves who are trying to escape different instances of slavery would follow the North Star as they walked north along the Underground Railroad. And some people know this, but the North Star is actually called Polaris. And so we, as an organization, are named after the North Star in a modern day term, Polaris Project, so that we can almost embody the spirit of the Underground Railroad in the modern day, when community members were taking a stand against the scourge of slavery. And so in that same spirit, Polaris Project was founded by community members who are doing the same thing, realizing that modern day slavery was happening in our lives, in our society, and wanting to fight against it and work against it. And so that same star that was then there is still there now. Our organization, Polaris Project, was founded to combat the issue of human trafficking and modern day slavery in the United States and around the world today. And we strongly believe that with a big enough movement and enough actors joining this fight and using the right strategies to intervene, that we can really eradicate the issue of human trafficking from modern day society. So what we're trying to do as an organization is we're trying to build a anti-trafficking response, a thorough enough anti-trafficking response that equips all different communities with what they can do when this issue is found in their community. So part of Polaris Project is working directly on working with victims of trafficking after they get out of the situation and helping provide social services and rebuilding their lives. Another part of Polaris Project is building the whole legal framework so that our country has strong laws that are there to prosecute traffickers and protect victims. We also have a training wing that's acting as a force multiplier, where we're training whole different sectors of learning how to identify the signs of trafficking and how to respond. And our biggest program is the US government launched a national human trafficking hotline, which is called the National Human Trafficking Resource Center. And Polaris Project was selected by the US government to run that national 24-hour hotline, where we're taking calls from all over the country, 24 hours a day, every day, with new breaking cases of people finding instances of human trafficking or victims calling in directly on their own behalf. And we're working with partners all across the country to really build this systemic national response that's sitting there at the ready whenever a case breaks or whenever a new case of human trafficking is found. So overall, we're now about 10 years old, and we're one of the country's leading human trafficking nonprofits in the country, seeing this as a human rights issue that really needs much more attention and much more action, and playing the best role that we can, helping the country to transform its response to this crime in the United States and then in the future around the world.
Nice.
When President Lincoln's Cottage first approached us last year about partnering together on the work that is being done in this new exhibit, we were absolutely thrilled. We immediately jumped at the opportunity and said yes. And we, I think, immediately saw the connection between people going to Lincoln's Cottage to learn about slavery of the past and to learn about one of our greatest presidents. And that's a great moment for them to also learn about how modern day slavery is still happening in our society and around our world, and how this exhibit could be a way of making that connection for people so that the past and the present aren't de-linked as two separate things, but really one long thread of something that's still very connected. So we are incredibly excited to be involved. We think it's a very important exhibit that's going to educate thousands and thousands of people about the issues of modern day slavery. And what we're hoping that people will take away from the exhibit is an understanding that this issue is still happening and that people really are being held in situations where they're there against their will, whether or not it's in the commercial sex trade or whether or not it's in some form of labor. And for them to educate themselves that it's happening, and and then educate themselves on what they can do about it. For example, one thing that they could do very concretely is they could help us raise awareness of this national hotline. They could publicize the number 1-888-3737-888 and help to spread the word that this number exists. They could also learn to recognize the signs of what is a situation of human trafficking, and if they ever come across a situation or see suspicious behavior, or if they know or have met a victim of trafficking, they could always call the national hotline to report that and engage this national resource. They can go to our website, www.polarisproject.org, and get lots of information about ways to get involved. But overall, we think that in this 150th year anniversary of the Emancipation Proclamation, 2012 is an incredibly important year, both in our country's history, but also in the fight against human trafficking in the modern day. And so the timing of this exhibit, when it's coming out, is a really important time, and we're honored to be a part of it.